Going to the mall is typically an activity I remember doing a lot as a kid. The mall I went to when I was younger had a carousel, a play arena, and an ice cream shop all right next to each other, which is a young kid's dream. However, as I grew up, I stopped going. I didn't end up frequently going back until my first semester of college, in which my friends at the time and I would go about once a week after school. Yet to my shock, the mall was always empty. There were hardly ever any people there, and this was before, the thing. This isn't a one-off case, however. Many malls in America nowadays see less frequent traffic with the rise of online shopping. So what generally happens to these massive monoliths when people stop going to them? Well, for the most part, they just stay there. In fact, the term dead mall describes this phenomenon perfectly. A dead mall is a shopping mall with a high vacancy rate or a low consumer traffic level, or that is deteriorating in some manner. Many malls in North America are considered dead when they have no surviving anchor store or successor that could attract people to the mall. I could continue to go on and talk about the socioeconomic changes that are happening that lead to this, but that wouldn't be interesting now, would it? Rather, I want to take a look at some malls that are considered dead, abandoned, or in this case, liminal. As far as structure for this video, I want to first start with the mall's location and whether or not it's still open. Then, I'll talk about the liminal space aspect of the image associated with it. After that, just any general thoughts I might have. The structure, of course, will be somewhat loose, as there will be certain elements that might be lacking per location. With that said, let's get started. This first mall is located in Montgomery County, Maryland. It was opened in 1977 and permanently closed in early 2015. The first thing that my eye is drawn to in this image are the bright neon lights lined with the ceiling and pillars. It gives off some strong 80s vibes, especially with the white checkered floor. Something that's a little less noticeable is the Greek-looking architecture painted on the side of the wall. Vaporwave aesthetics sometimes mix with liminal spaces, and I think that this is a prime example of that. It all blends together to form this perfect balance of nostalgia and discomfort. At the time of it being opened, the mall's most popular stores included Dave & Buster's, Borders Books and Music, and Lowe's Theater, which is now known as AMC. White Flint was a pretty popular place on Halloween, as the mall would host an annual Halloween event providing free entertainment as well as candy. The mall also had a working website at one point, which would even advertise certain holiday events. The website unfortunately doesn't work now and it can't be accessed. This mall is located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, unsurprisingly. The mall was opened in 1975 and fully closed in 2005. So, objectively, there's a lot going on with this image. The bottom half contains a pretty standard looking mall, but the top half is just this jarbled mess of lines, colors, and numbers. That's actually because this is one giant clock, and supposedly at one point it was even functional. Something else of mention is the fact that there's a wet floor sign. As if there are no people around, what would be the need for this? Who put it there, and why is it still here? Things like this really make me question the image and look at things and go, hey, why are there a bunch of trash cans spread across the floor? They must have had some sort of problem with the pipes or the roof, or perhaps it was something to do with this monstrosity. Also, this image does contain familiar elements, such as the palm trees and the table colors. While I was doing research, I found this website discussing the mall and its closure from 2005. This was of course before YouTube and really any video streaming or sharing site at the time, and before it was a thing on the internet. It really makes me wonder if people would have posted about this mall closing or not, as apparently this dead mall culture has been around for a long time. Mountaineer Mall and Professional Plaza is located in Morgantown, West Virginia. The mall was opened in 1975 and even remains open today, but with little to no traffic, hence why it's considered a dead mall. For people who might not recognize this image, it's actually a pretty popular liminal space image. And it makes sense as to why. It's very strange looking. For starters, the image doesn't resemble a mall in any way. When I first saw it, I thought it was a hallway to a school or university or something. The image looks to have depth to it, as the exit sign is very small and far away, which makes the hallway seem rather long. I'd also like to mention the colors in this image, as only a few stick out, being the yellows from the railing and doors, the white from the floors and stairs, and the green and brown from the plants. It reminds me of the playground image and how that only had a couple colors to it. The mall, despite not being that much of an attraction, actually holds an annual art show, as well as other holiday events. If one wanted to see what a modern dead mall looks like, this mall could serve as a great opportunity. As for now, it still remains open. Washington Square Mall. An image I've actually had requested to me a variety of times. It's located in Evansville, Indiana. The mall is by far the oldest, opening in 1963, which is actually a 10-year difference from any of the other ones. And to my surprise, it still remains open. However, it's run by a different company as well as new management. This is actually an older image taken of the mall, in a place that doesn't even exist anymore, and is clearly closed off. The image works great as a liminal space, however. The designs in the walls for the floor are confusing, but it draws on the looker, leading them into a black void. Well-known internet artist Trevor Henderson, who's known for creating Siren Head, actually even used this image for one of his creatures, due to its disturbing nature. This mall would also be another great dead mall to explore, as it's been around even earlier than the other ones, and continues to do so. I believe it's because the town and community actually care about this mall. Countless reviews I read online talk about people who grew up here and still believe that the food and drinks are great. This respect for the mall even dates back to 1989 in a commercial for the mall.
Why do you come to Washington Square Mall?
Well, my wife is always down here. I come with her sometimes to get my work clothes. I can even get my tools here. A lot of times I just get a soft drink, sit back, and listen to the kids in the food court sing. It's just real nice here.
It's not just a place to go, it's more like coming home. Welcome home, oh, welcome home to Washington Square.
Despite it being considered dead, Washington Square still means so much to so many. So that just about does it for these 4 malls. Check them out for yourself if you're interested. Each of these malls has a really cool and unique history, and there's actually a lot of information behind all of them that I didn't include just because it might not have been relevant, or it might not have been that important, but nonetheless, it's still really cool, and I definitely recommend checking them out for yourself. If you'd like, let me know what your favorite mall was. These things are always interesting, and I like hearing the feedback. If you've enjoyed this type of video, let me know. Maybe I'll make a part 2 at some point. And on a more personal note for the channel, I just wanted to say once again, thank you to everybody. My statistics say only around 10% of people actually get this far into the video, so if you're part of that 10%, thank you. Big shout out to those who know who they are. There's definitely a variety of people that come to mind when I think of those who stick it out to the end and show me the extra support, so just thank you again. It's crazy to me that I actually hit 500 subscribers. I know in the past I've mentioned that these things give me motivation, but honestly it does. It shows me a lot of potential for a far-off dream, and that's really nice to see. Thanks again for being patient with the videos as well. Times are crazy for me right now, and it can be difficult to stay motivated. I don't really have anything else to say, so as always, thank you for watching, and take care.